Lately it seems like everyone and their dog has been talking about the Nintendo Switch, and well, rightfully so. There's quite a bit to discuss as we come up to the launch of the interesting and unusual hybrid console. Now we have a couple of comments for you today, the first of which is from Ubisoft, or more specifically, the Ubisoft's French Studios managing director Javier Puy, who discussed a fair amount of things with games industry. And it seems that they believe that the Nintendo Switch could have a similar impact as the original Wii, which is quite the bold claim, as I'm sure you would agree. And Javier said, quote, "The Wii attracted a very large audience, including kids and families, because it offered, on one hand, the motion controls allowing for intuitive interactions with the console, and on the other hand, games with a strong social component. These aspects gave us the opportunity to develop Rabbids and Just Dance, for example. The Switch will probably have a similar impact, thanks to the mobility offered by the console. You don't have to have a home console and a mobile console anymore. There's one console, which is mobile, that you can bring anywhere." Next up on our Nintendo Switch comment platter is none other than Patrick Soderlund from EA, who spoke with IGN, and he seemed to be fairly appreciative of Nintendo's strategies with the Switch and how the actual console itself challenges conventions, and also with those changes, of course, will make developers and publishers think differently about how to approach the console and how best to make use of its unique properties. And he said, quote, "What I like about Nintendo is that they come to the table with a slightly different approach. They've done that in the past to great success and sometimes not so much. But I think unless you're willing to think about something unconventional, it's going to be hard to break ground. Nintendo forces us to think differently. The Nintendo Switch challenges conventions as game makers, makes us think about the platform in a different way." Now, as you'll recall, the only EA title announced for the Switch so far is, of course, FIFA, and they chose this particular game because of the mass appeal of this particular franchise. Sadly, they didn't have anything new to announce, but they did have a few more comments about this, and they said, quote, "It's our biggest brand. It's the brand that spans across the most markets. It's the brand that spans the biggest age demographic. It's a mass market proposition. It's a game a lot of people want to play. This is a way of showing we're going to be there. We're supporting the platform. We're not announcing anything else yet, but you can expect us to be there once the platform launches and takes off." And to be fair, he's not wrong about the fact that developers and publishers are going to have to think differently when developing for the Switch. Now, of course, you could argue the same thing about the Wii U, and that wasn't necessarily a positive thing for the Wii U, but I don't think we've got the same situation as with the Wii U here, at least in terms of people actually understanding what it was. I mean, one of the main problems with the Wii U is people didn't understand what it was. They did not message it clearly. A lot of people thought, and to be honest, rightfully so, from the messaging, that it was a add-on to the Wii, and it was some sort of weird sort of tablet add-on for that, and all sorts of other confusing messaging that was going on. Thanks to the rather bungled marketing from Nintendo, we don't have that, at least this time round. You know, as the myriad of problems that the Switch has, from what we know, that isn't one of them. So at least that is something, but whether or not developers want to actually kind of make their game bend around corners to work on the Switch or not is something entirely. But I think what's really going to be interesting with the Switch is not necessarily the third-party support, although that is of course going to help, but not necessarily the exclusive, but the games get made because the Switch is a thing. That's where Patrick's comments are going to be really interesting, as it could very much mean that a game that is made in a certain way, or is made at all because the Switch made a developer think, yeah, we could do this, we can make use of this, that sort of thing. You know, I'm not a developer or publisher, so I can't say exactly what challenges this will present, you know, in a real technical sense. Obviously, I can see the problems of having to worry about, you know, it being docked versus undocked and all of that. That's definitely going to be an issue for a lot of companies, especially those that are a bit smaller in stature. But I can definitely see the potential for this to lead to some interesting games, especially with the Joy-Cons as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. The two links, Games Industry and IGN, will of course be in the description below for your perusal, if you so desire. As always, thank you very much for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It does help out a great deal, and I'll see you next time.